So here's a good question, and I love the way it's framed here. Here's something you may consider making a video on. This is a, quote, fun to think about, unquote, hypothesis question. Let's assume reincarnation does exist, and that's how life works. We have multiple lives. Do you think it's a high probability that Jeshua's spirit is also the spirit of Buddha, Shakespeare, Gandhi, and all of the great spiritual teachers that we currently quote and think about? Wouldn't that be irony if what divides so many people turns out to be the exact same soul, and we as a society were blinded to see it? I love this question for lots of reasons, because I often say I don't understand what reincarnation is, but I do believe it's that we are all one with God. And so if we are all one with God, then Jeshua, Buddha, Shakespeare, Gandhi, Krishna, all of the big spiritual teachers in the world are the same soul, the same spirit. There's an individuality within God. In Hinduism, it's God is the consciousness of God is the sit, and we are the sit sat ki, the individual sparks of consciousness within God. But we're all within God. We're all one with God. And I believe people like Jeshua, Buddha, Shakespeare, Gandhi, their veil was a little thinner, and they were getting information from the consciousness of God, which is where all of these people were getting their consciousness from. It would be really interesting if reincarnation was a that did exist that way, and it was the same soul coming back. That would be very, very interesting. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually, especially if you could prove it and then say, look, Muhammad and Jeshua are the same guy, right? That would change a lot of things in the world, right? If we could prove that. But I find it interesting that of the idea that all of these enlightened avatars that we talk about are just speaking from the consciousness of God, from the source. So they are all the same entity, per se. They are all the same awareness, the same consciousness. And what I find really interesting is when you start to realize that consciousness talks through everybody all the time. You hear the right person say the right thing. You hear the little boy say something that's totally above his pay grade spiritually, right? My son with the, God told me that he's in everything and everyone, and we control the God part inside of us. That's a big concept. But God spoke it through my son to me, right? God, that consciousness of God speaks to all of us all the time. And it speaks through Buddha and Krishna and Shakespeare and Gandhi and Sylvester Stallone. I have a quote from Sylvester Stallone. I'm going to do it in another video. But so, yeah, your hypothesis is an interesting one, and I think it would be really kind of cool if that happened that way. But I think it's actually cooler. I think it's cooler that we are all the same consciousness. We are all one with God. And every big spiritual leader who spoke their truth was speaking from the consciousness of God. And if we could get all of the religious people of old religions and religious people of new age dogma, because new age has become religion as well. So if we can get all of them to realize it's all the same, and that they don't need anything but they themselves and their connection to source, then the world would change dramatically. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.